People wind up on autopilot in their life, constantly chasing more Chuck E. Cheese token, but never buying the comb or the doll at Chuck E. Cheese. Never cashing in the ticket until it's too late. That time passes us by and we're still on autopilot.
You may be wondering why the hell I'm driving around someone's house in a golf cart. I'm here in Austin to meet the extraordinarily wealthy man trying to snap us all out of autopilot, Bill Perkins. Bill is a trader, high-stakes poker player, and author of the book that turns our traditional ideas of personal finance on their head. You have a book called Die with Zero.
Yeah.
How many zeros?
A lot of zeros.
But Bill's philosophy isn't just about spending money. It's about maximizing net worth in the form of life experiences. He argues that waiting until retirement to enjoy your wealth is a losing bet.
There's something about that journey, right? The destination is the same, right? This is called last meal. Yeah. We're all going to the grave, right?
And as a man who moves millions based on data and risk, he has the maths to prove it.
Warren Buffett will say, invest early, in order to reap the dividends and the compound interest. I'd say invest in experiences early in order to reap the dividends.
I mean, that was great for Instagram, but we need a fucking, explanation.
Unpack that one. Here we go.
Tonight, we sit down at Bill's Austin restaurant for a final feast to discuss the one thing money can't buy more of: time.
I think a lot of people, if they can put their younger 20-year-old self next to them, their younger self might be, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you wasting my life?
Food defines us, but every feast must come to an end. When facing mortality, life's big questions are served.
This is Last Meal, where I prepare the dish my guest would want if it were their last.
You wanted this project so you could have something to work on with your wife.
Yes.
And is she the same kind of thing? Like, she is a very passionate, maybe a workaholic or somebody that, why did you decide to work on something together rather than go on a vacation or something?
It's, I don't know. I think there's something about work and play and interacting together that, we get to go through it. You know what I mean? There's something about that journey, right? The destination is the same, right? This is called last meal. Yeah. We're all going to the grave, right? And so it's about the journey. And so a restaurant, bar, vibe spot, place where we get to hang out. And it's also something that if we create, we're going to reap dividends off this place many times. And I don't mean monetarily. I mean we get to hang out. We get to have moments with our friends. Other people get to have moments. So it's a real special place to us.
Yeah. It's a memory dividend.
Yes. Yeah. If we're going to, this is an asset. Memories are an asset that pay dividends.
So. Tell me about memory dividends.
So it's a concept that essentially, when you go to work, you acquire capital and, you buy things or you invest, you put your money in the bank and it pays a dividend over time, right? But the purpose of that money is not just to keep producing money. It's to invest in experiences that you want to have, right? That give you fulfillment. And part of the things that give you fulfillment when you have an activity, no matter what it is, charitable or hedonistic, is that the recall of that experience, right? You just don't go on a trip and then forget about it. You talk about it for years. You remember, reminisce about it. If other people were with you, they're kind of like this distributed memory system. So they give you another perspective of the trip. And you're like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. And you have these experiences and you get fulfillment out of it. And these are the memory dividends. It's not just the enjoyment when you do the activity. It's also the recall of it and the discussion of it and the resharing of it.
Yeah.
And so, I often say that, just like investing, like Warren Buffett will say, invest early, in order to reap the dividends and the compound interest. I'd say invest in experiences early in order to reap the dividends. And so when we come here and we have a great time and there was a momentous occasion, it was really a great vibe, something, there's certain je ne sais quoi that you can't put your finger on it. You talk about it later. It's you get a little bit of a joy and fulfillment out of that.
And that's the biggest difference between experiences over things, right? Material objects don't pay those same dividends.
I don't think they do in general. I mean, there are certain things that's I bought my first car, you know what I mean? And the whole process and that car, it has a thing or it gave you joy. But by and large, new and exciting things with people you love is probably I find that to be the best
Yeah.
producer of memory dividends.
And I think you just said it there. It's like experiencing it with other people,
Correct.
right? It's not just you might want to hike Machu Picchu or something like that, but it's that telling of the story that you experienced doing it with someone else that really reaps those dividends.
Yeah, I think there are certain things that like a journey you must go on alone, right? Like I got to work out and I got myself in shape, and there's a certain sort of pride on these things, or like you said, hiking free soloing a mountain or something like that. But by and large, people don't go to the movies alone. They don't like to go to dinner alone. We're humans and we're wired to connect. I think one of the quintessential traits of being a human is that we are wired for connection. We seek out connection with other humans. And so a lot of the enjoyment and the fulfillment of the kind of exponential growth in fulfillment is doing new and novel things, changing your well-being with other people, And so spaces that kind of create an environment where people can connect, enjoy each other, have adventures, times together, laugh together, cry together. Those are the greatest memories. Those are the best time. Those are the best of times. You know?
Social connections seem to be, well, the science shows like the number one indicator of happiness.
I mean, it's all babies dance, right? Like,
right.
I was one time, I was at a dinner, I think it was David Sloan Wilson. He's an evolutionary biologist. And I had this question. I was like, everywhere I go in the world, if I play music, babies will dance. And he was like, because it's a connection thing. We're wired to connect. It's this similarity thing. He mentioned something about the white in our eyes. We're one of the few animals that can see each other, that we're looking at each other from a great distance because of white in our eyes. We like have all these little things that are there for us to connect. And so I don't think it's a mystery that, connection and being with friends is linked to happiness and fulfillment, et cetera. I think it's part of who you are. It's wired in you at the base substrate level.
So how do we get it so wrong when it comes to the interaction between money and happiness?
Yeah. I think a lot of things that we do or that we become good at, we don't think of. Like once you become good at something, it becomes automatic, right? And a lot of things that protect us are automatic. Scary thing, run. You know what I mean? Fire, go. Right? Like it's single session learning, protect, survive. And these automatic responses are great. They help us survive, but they don't help us thrive. And so what we wind up doing is like, you're 17 or 18 or about to graduate college, 21, and you're like, I'm going to go get this job and I'm going to get money and then I'm going to play guitar and I'm going to travel the world and I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And then you go through 5-10 years of, 40 hours a week of learning how to do this thing. It becomes automatic. Your habits become automatic. Where you eat lunch, how do you commute to work, where you socialize, they all become automatic. Right. And so you're excelling at this thing of creating capital and moving forward in your career, but you're on autopilot. And that's great for, becoming very skilled at something, but it's not great for your fulfillment and your goals. It's not great for thriving. Right. And so I think people wind up on autopilot in their life, constantly chasing more Chuck E. Cheese token, but never buying the comb. Or the doll at Chuck E. Cheese, never cashing in the ticket.
Yeah.
And so, until it's too late, right? And not necessarily too late until they're dead, but also too late until a certain time period in their life passes, because certain activities, certain things that you wanted in your life were most optimal at certain periods in your life, right? There's certain things that are more optimal in your 20s and 30s. 40s and 50s, 60s and 70s, and so on, depending on who you are and what your goals are. And so that time passes us by and we're still on autopilot, running in the wheel.
And you lose sight even more because you can't really anticipate what your wants and needs and dreams are going to be in your 40s when you're in your 20s,
Correct.
Right? And so if you find yourself in that autopilot, it becomes even more shrouded, the view ahead of you, right?
It's crazy. I mean, I think a lot of people, if they can put their younger 20-year-old self or their 30-year-old self or their 19-year-old self next to them, I think their younger self might be a good job and then punch them in the face. You know, like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, like, why are you wasting my life?
Yeah.
You know, that type of thing.
Have you had that conversation with yourself?
Oh,
Have you
all the
thought-
time.
Yeah.
All the time.
So what do you say to your 19-year-old self?
I mean, well, my 19-year-old self, you know, I have a conversation with them, and it's like kind of like, what are your goals? You know, what are you doing? Like, and I tend to have a conversation with my future self, right? Because that's the one who's going to be like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
That's the one you can change.
Yes, exactly.
Right? The retrospective one is
exactly.
he's fucked.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like,
Yeah. Like, am I making, you know, and so that's kind of the conversation I have. Like, and do I need to show up this thing? Am I going to be upset that I didn't take the time out to do this thing? Or am I quitting before the wow?
Mm.
You know, a lot of things in life, in relationships, at work, spiritually, there's a lot of suck before the wow.
Explain what you mean by that.
If you go to the gym, right? Like, a lot of people show up on January 1st, 2nd at the gym. It fucking sucks. You haven't been in the gym forever.
Yeah.
It sucks. It's painful, and you don't see the results. The people that stay for a year, those are the pictures you see on the internet, and then people are like, wow, right?
I want the result.
Exactly. In a relationship, there's a lot of work into developing a healthy, loving, strong, adventurous, fun, sexy relationship, right? There's a lot of getting to know each other, learning how to communicate, etc. And so there's a lot of suck before the wow, you guys are so great. Like, how did you do it? It was like, you know what I mean? They didn't see all the plumbing and building the foundation of that relationship. Same thing at work. It's like, this thing sucks. The boss, and there's so much pressure and the deadlines before the wow, like, I'm a multimillionaire. Like, how did that happen? Like, I became competent, I went through it. Anything, learning an instrument. Like,
do you believe that there's a compounding effect to that, in the sense that, well, in the same way that compound interest works, that you would develop a skill of improving some aspect of your life such that it actually gets exponentially faster to do so the older you get?
I think it's more like a curve, a Rayleigh curve, or like maybe exponential for a bit and then plateaus, right?
Okay.
But I think, like, it opens up other opportunities, like a lot of the opportunities in my life or that I see in other people's lives has been like, it sucks, but like, you're climbing a mountain and there's little overlooks, and you don't get the wow until you get to this certain level, right? And it's like, wow, and there's other opportunity. Maybe I want to go on that hill or swim that lake first or whatever, and then you climb a little, sucks, and then there's wow, like, look how great it is, right? And I think a lot of people, whether it's physical health, work, family, career, they don't go, they quit in the suck period too soon.
Is there a way that you think you can make the suck not suck?
I think you can. I think there's a lot of books and people out there, stoic books, et cetera, to like learn to enjoy the journey. It's tough. Like, when you go to the gym and it's burning, your muscles are burning, and you're like, I still don't look like that guy in the gym, and there's people around, and it takes the time. It takes a while, but like, you need to learn the journey and be thankful for the process and the ride. Like, learning how to enjoy the ride more than the destination, I think is like a lifelong thing I have to remind myself of.
Yeah, I find that with physiological things like working out, I've heard, because I don't fucking do it. But I've heard that there's an element of it that can be addictive, much like drugs can be, because there's an endorphin release, right? And so there's an automaticity with which you can actually become comfortable or feel okay along that journey, even though it's tough, regardless. I'm interested in, like, psychologically how somebody could do that if they're, they've got a job that they're not too interested in.
I constantly have to remind myself, like, you're in process, just do it, let's go. And taking pride that, that you're just doing it, like that, like keeps you going.
Dedication.
Yeah. There's a lot of times when, like, I've had a challenge, whether it be a health or mental or fast or whatever, and it's just like, pulling my inner David Goggins, and have a talk with myself. Don't you bitch out, It's like, oh, don't you keep arguing. Like, don't, like, suck it up and apologize and be vulnerable. Don't you bitch out on this relationship. Don't you bitch out on working out. Don't you bitch out on this. In every area of my life, I have to sometimes have that conversation.
So do you think that maybe as a society that we have a little bit of a problem with delayed gratification? Because in both things that you're talking about with, money and this, there's an element where we're sort of detached from our current reality, whereby we don't see the forest for the trees in how we spend our time or our money or how we invest in ourselves now.
I think it's twofold. I think we have that problem, and I think people don't really understand what the gratification is. They get the money, and then it's like if I gave you a bunch of hammers and saws, right? And then you're just like, I want the hammers and saws, and you don't know how to build a house. That's what they were for, right? It was to build something. But you just keep accumulating hammers and saws. And so you want them right away. You didn't work for the hammers and saws. You didn't, put in the time or whatever to get the hammer saws. You get it right away. And then you don't know how to build the house, which is supposedly your fulfillment, right? So now you're just sitting there with a bunch of hammers and saws like a guy in a garage with all the tools. He never uses them, right? Like that's kind of people in life. So I think it's both sides of that, And I think, getting in love with the process and the journey of life, each step, the suck, the great, the reward, the reward is kind of anticlimactic. It's fun. It's great. Like we won, but like the real journey was like the battle on the field in the sports. What a great game.
Yeah.
What a great opponent, right? Like who wants to go play a sport or a game with like a 3-year-old? Right? Like that's not great, right?
Yeah.
So clearly you want a worthy opponent. You want these obstacles. Like deep down inside, you want this journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
You need that journey, right?
Yeah. And everybody thinks that they want to get to a point where they make all this money so they can sort of do nothing. But then if they were to do nothing, they would go crazy doing nothing.
Yeah,
so the challenge is sort of part of life, right? I'm interested how you came to this idea. You're worth a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah.
You have a book called Die with Zero.
Yeah.
How many zeros?
A lot of zeros. It's close to zeros you can get. But there's always a zero. There's got to be a zero in the front, right?
That's okay.
On the front decimal point, right?
So the front one, yeah. Do you think it took you the point at having a lot of money to realize the real interaction between money and time and all of that sort of stuff?
No. It was before I had no money.
Okay.
It was like little conversations of thoughts like strung out. And like I had read a book, it was kind of like, okay, I'm a screen clerk, I'm driving a limo at night. I want to be a millionaire before I'm 30, but why? Why before 30? Well, obviously these old guys above 30, what are they going to do? Buy a fancier car to drive their kids to school? That sucks. Like,
I love you like these older guys above 30.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Got at the time when you're 21, like, what do you think?
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
true.
You know what I mean?
Everybody.
Like, what do you think? Like, it's like, what? They're going to get more girls? No. You know what I mean? Like, the money was for girls and partying, right? Like, you know what I mean? So, like, but that concept, forget the ageism, like, it's like that concept's in there. Like, it's like, oh, wow, there's this utility of money, and then it kind of declines past a certain age. It's kind of like Logan's Run. I don't know. I'm an old guy.
Yeah.
Like,
I know
and so, and then I read this book called Your Money or Your Life. And that really, really transformed my thinking about money and time completely. And that book kind of launched the financial independence retire early movement. It's called FIRE.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard of it.
I have heard of that. Yeah.
And, I took away something different from that book. I was like, because there's these like extreme savers, and they're like, oh, we're gonna retire young at like 45 or 50 or whatever. And I was like, sounds like you're going to jail for like 15, 20 years in order to, have a bunch of money when you come out of jail. I was like, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? Like, there's no amount of money you can pay me to go do 20 years in Sing Sing. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah.
And so I was like, what I realized is that I want to leverage my time. I just want enough capital that, as I exchange my hours for other people's hours, the pilot's hours, the doctor's hours, the dentist's hours, that like I had the greatest ratio, right? And that way I would get to do the things that I loved, which I thought at the time would be chasing girls and traveling around.
It's interesting. I had this friend once, many years ago, and he had a brother who collected, in Australia we call it bric-a-brac. I'm not sure whether you do here. Sort of like antiques,
yes,
like second-handy type stuff. And he had an entire house like full of this stuff, almost like hoarder levels.
Right.
So much so that he had to buy like a bigger house.
Just to put the antiques around, yeah.
And his whole thing was like, oh, but this is worth more than I bought it for. Like one day it'll be worth this, one day it'll be worth that. And his brother used to say to him, Conrad, it's not worth anything because you're never going to sell it.
Correct.
But then I'm in two minds about that, because then I think to myself, but what if it's his whole his whole shtick is actually collecting them. The narrative is, the reason I can buy this is because,
that might just be a side story. He might get
yeah.
extreme joy and fulfillment looking at like the porcelain lamp.
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
And if that's like what floats his boat, I'm not here to tell you how to fulfill your life, like what drives your fulfillment. I'm just here to tell you how to get the most out of it, given your resources, your wealth, your health, and your time. And so if it's like, hey, the most fulfilling thing to you in your life is collecting porcelain objects or bric-a-brac or whatever it is, and that is like going to make you happy, who am I to tell you that, no, you should go traveling or skiing or surfing or partying or whatever. Like, that's your life.
Well, that kind of fits into the philosophy anyway, doesn't it? Because it's sort of, don't worry too much about saving money, which is basically just a proxy for something. It's not even...
No. The money is there to just give you the life that you want. It's just a tool. It's just like a hammer or a saw.
It's a resource,
Yeah, your health is a tool. It's a tool to drive your fulfillment. Right?
So you're also a professional poker player?
No, not professional. Amateur, but yes.
You're amateur?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were professional.
No, a lot of people say professional just because they see the amount of money flying around, but that doesn't make you a professional.
I met someone in a bar the other night and I was talking about you. Yeah, he was a poker player and he was like, I'm not at Bill's level. And I was like, I don't know anything about poker. So I was just like, what's Bill at?
Yeah, I don't know what Bill's at,
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, you have at least an understanding and you're reasonably successful at poker. And what I wanted to ask you about was like, what is your assessment of risk? What is your understanding of risk and how it relates to your own life and taking risks and opportunities?
Yeah, I guess, I guess we can answer this question a lot of ways, but life is risk. The moment you were conceived, it's risk, and your parents start worrying about 10 fingers and 10 toes and all kinds of things. And then as you get older, are they learning right? Or are they sick? Or will they make friends? Are they going to be heartbroken? And like all these things are your parents worrying about the risks throughout your life, right? Because that's what parents do. I'm a parent now, right? It's just like a lifetime of worry. But life is risk, and on the other side of that is the rewards. Right. And you have to decide what is worth for you. What is the risk reward ratio you want in every scenario. Right. And so with money, it's very mathematical. Right. It's the law of averages, long term, et cetera. And you try and quantify that. It's like, is it worth the risk to tell this girl I love her first? Is it worth the risk to ride a motorcycle? Is it worth it to go skydiving? Is it worth it to leave all the people I know and move to another city for a new opportunity and a new job? And for each person, they're going to have their own risk-reward ratio, et cetera. But, I tell people to have the most fulfilling life, the most adventurous life, you need to take the maximum risk you can stand and then add a little bit more.
Oh, okay. So
because people are naturally risk averse.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Your tolerance plus a bit more.
Plus a bit more.
Oh, I like that. I love that.
Yeah. It's not just what you can stand, because what you stand is at the pussy level.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You know what I mean?
Because I feel like I take a lot of risks in my life, and then I'm like, wait a minute. No, I take as many risks as I feel I'm comfortable with. Right. Maybe I should push myself
a little bit more. Yeah. Your baseline is generally very conservative.
Yeah, you might be right about that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Here's a thought that I had about risk that I wanted to float with you. Because I think a lot of it has to do with like opportunity cost.
Yeah.
So, there's the risk of, as you said, like doing skydiving or trying a new thing or asking the girl out or whatever it is. But then there's the opportunity cost of not having done that thing, which is also a risk in the other direction.
It's massive.
Yeah. And I think this is my sort of working hypothesis. The reason that we're more averse to assessing the opportunity cost is because it's like an imagined state. We haven't actually done it yet, so we can't see ourselves doing it. So taking a year off and trekking in Nepal, right? Because we haven't done it before, we can't see it in our heads and imagine how it would be.
Right.
But staying in our cushy job for that year, well, we know what that's like. So it's more familiar.
It's hard to measure all those variables. And I think people just lack a certain optimism about what it could be. They just can't imagine success. They don't even think about success. They think of, and I also think it's ego. You're so focused on the failure case. Like, oh, wow, I'm going to look like an idiot. My friends are going to be more wealthy than me. I'm going to look like a clown to them. They're going to move up. I'm going to be behind them, et cetera. So there's so much energy focused on the failure case, right? That we don't think about like all the things that can go right. Right. And it's very hard to assess the probability of those things going right. And also the lessons learned that set you up for the next adventure. Right. It's just hard to calculate for people to think about that because they're not focusing on them.
And fear
and then the fear that, the biggest fear, I think, like on a lot of these risks, the risks aren't that great. Most of the time people I talk to, like, they're employable. The difference between this job and that job is negligible in salary, maybe even more, because you generally make more money when you leave a job to go to another job. Even the time, even including for the time, like looking for a job, they're generally intelligent, et cetera. So it's like, you're not going to be broke. Like, you're not going to be panhandling on the street. So what's the real risk? It's like ego risk, right? There is some opportunity cost of, like, if I just grind it out in this job, will they bring me up? But generally, when you weigh it all out,
if you're already thinking about leaving.
Yeah, exactly. Or these things, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I don't want to look like an idiot if I tell this girl this. I don't want to do whatever. And it's like, that could be a lifetime of adventure and love,
And I think people suffer from that impact bias or whatever it's called, where you everybody overestimates the emotional toll it's going to take on you, either in the negative or the positive. So you think that moving jobs, even if it doesn't work out, is going to be so bad and it's going to be this huge ego hit. And even when it happens, you're like, oh, that wasn't actually so bad.
Yeah.
And so there's a case to be made for people just trying stuff out at an early age.
Yeah. When people do, they come up with one obstacle in their mind, like, this job is another state and I don't know anybody in there, right? Or I'm going to miss these people. And I'm like, I always ask a question like, okay, how much time do you spend with these people right now? Okay. How much more do you make in this job? How much is the dream? Like, you actually can spend more quality time moving away from, in certain cases, because when you come, you actually stay with them. You're with them for a period of time. You actually do things. It's not like, like when I was in New York, I never went to like the Empire State Building or things until less people visited. It's just always there. I can always go do it.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think there's a little bit of that, like friends or networks, like, I'm working, I can catch them the next time, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, I moved out of town, I come back, I stay for a week, or we go on a trip together. And it's like, if I add up the hours and moments, it's like, you actually spent more time, made more money, and actually created a whole new network.
100%.
Now, I'm not saying that's always the case. I'm just saying, like, people don't do the analysis. They won't look through it. They just get this initial roadblock and they don't look a layer deep, or another layer deeper to see, like, how does this weigh out?
Yeah, that rings true for me. I mean, and I don't even think you need to do the analysis. Just watch how you behave when you, like, I had a friend that I used to live in the same city as in Sydney for many years, and we might catch up once a year. I spent a couple of months in New York last year. We went out like 5 times for dinner because we're both in the same city together.
Exactly.
It's just like, because, just judge your habits and also you don't know how you're going to react in situations. So you move that job and you think, I'm going to miss this person or that person or whatever it is. See what happens. If you do miss them, maybe you'll make more of an effort to go out and see them or something like that.
Yeah. I think it just falls in, like, people are so risk averse, they don't even go in and, like, kind of look it over and think it through. So, like, that's crazy. Nobody else does that. It's one of the things I try and break with my kids. They're like, Dad, nobody does that. I'm like, stop thinking like everybody else. Like, it's like,
Yeah. What do you think the interplay is between trying to teach your kids lessons that you want them to learn, or knowing that some of the lessons have to be learned themselves?
Yeah, that's a big one. I recently had a conversation with my youngest about, something I was like, hey, I think this is a mistake. These are the reasons why, et cetera. But, you're 18 now. You get to make your own mistakes. I made thousands and thousands of mistakes and I got more to make. Like, I'm a mistake-making machine. And it's not like I'm the guru or the Buddha. I'm a hardware learner. My dad used to say, you can learn from other people's mistakes. You can learn from your own mistakes, or never learn, right? So some people learn from other people's mistakes, their own mistakes, or some people never learn. Just don't be in the third category.
Yeah. Do you think there's a preferable one between the first and second for you?
I would rather be in the first because the second one is painful,
Yeah.
very painful at times, but some people have to learn that way. The lesson won't be learned unless they experience, and experiential learning is really great. But wow, Some of them are painful, but my daughters get to make their own mistakes and thus their own learnings. And as long as they learn from their mistakes, I think it's okay. And as long as the mistake isn't fatal,
Yeah.
right? As long as it's not a catastrophic fatal mistake, then you'll recover. And sometimes even ones where you're like, this is a catastrophe. It's not.
Yeah.
It's a setback, right?
And like, do you think that, I mean, I don't have kids, but you having kids, obviously it's painful to watch them make those mistakes.
Yeah.
And so you get hurt by that as well. You thought the pain was over and then you had kids and you're like, oh shit.
It's just shocking. It's just kind of like, oh, now I get why I was so hard-headed and I didn't do this. It's like, it's in the genes now.
Yeah.
It's passed down from generation to generation.
Yeah.
But, it's part of the fun, right? They're going to have their own obstacles, their own way of thinking. It's going to evolve over time and we'll see. We'll see.
So onto the topic of family.
Right.
I guess I should present you with your last meal.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. So Bill Perkins, your last meal is sweet potato pie.
Wow.
And I'm going to go cut us a slice so we can enjoy it together.
That'd be great.
I've never had sweet potato pie before in my life.
Really? That's
Never.
Well, that's a place. That's because of where you were born.
Maybe. Well, I was born in South Africa.
Wow. Well, yeah. I think it's more of an African American.
Yeah,
dish?
I think it is because when I was looking it up online, there are a lot of African American bloggers and stuff.
East Coast.
Yeah.
It's all.
Is that close enough?
It's close enough.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, am I okay to eat this whole thing?
You're gonna. Yeah. Go
Okay.
for it. I just wanted to try it, but it's all yours.
Yeah. I mean, just eat as much as I can.
The one thing I added that wasn't in any of the recipes online was burnt butter and sage.
Oh, it's fine.
And the only reason I put that in is because I do make sweet potato puree at home.
Yeah.
Usually as a base for like scallops or something like that. And I always add a bit of burnt butter and sage. And
My mom had her own recipe. She used to do a lot of cinnamon in hers.
Yeah, there's a bit of cinnamon in that. There's a bit of nutmeg.
Yeah.
Now, this is your mother's recipe? Well, it's not your mother's recipe.
That's not my recipe. No, it's a secret. She never told anybody. She used to make it.
But this is what she used to cook for you.
Yeah, she used to make it. It was a special thing. Like, can we have sweet potato pie? We make sweet potato pie. She would send it to me in college.
Oh, nice.
It was a thing. Like, if it was a special thing or it was Thanksgiving, it was like, there's going to be a sweet potato pie, And it's not just your mother and your family. For me, certain foods are they encapsulate memories of a whole period. You like certain smells. You ever walk into a building and it has that water air conditioning and it reminds you of high school, at least in the East Coast, or people remember it's like, and it takes you not just your high school, but that whole period. You're almost in a whole vibe. You can almost hear the songs of that period in your head. And food, like sweet potato pie, it takes me back to times with family, walking around Jersey City with my cousins, friends, a whole era. And so this is like a sparker of the memory dividend. Like immediately, like this was your life type moments start popping up. You consume that each time.
You didn't even know it was an investment when you were eating it.
You didn't know when you were eating it, right? Like it's the same thing. It's like if you hear a certain song, it can take you back. Certain smell, And so for me, sweet potato pie is one of the key things to be like, okay, this was your life. These are the things you did. These are the great times. These are the sad times. This was reminds you of people that have gone, come in and out of your life.
Can you tell me about some of those?
Yeah, like my grandmother, family members, just people, high school, people that you were close with. Like I went to a small school. I mean, they're not completely gone, but they're like, you don't see them every day, right? Like you move on. And it was like, wow, that was our class. And these are people I spent, 251 days a year with, right? Or I'm sorry, 181 days a year with during the school year, right? And sometime during the summer, for 8 years, 10 years, right? And then now you don't see them anymore, right? And so those were great times. You sometimes connect or like, it's like, wow, look how old we are now. We were just 12-year-olds or 9-year-olds or 13-year-olds in high school, aunts, uncles, people that have passed, and just a whole era of time of your life. Like the history of you is encapsulated in this. And so
sometimes it feels like a movie that you watched, doesn't it?
Correct. I've seen a movie of my life.
Yeah, because you feel like such a different person
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
If this was your last meal and the world was ending tomorrow, and I could also ask you who you'd like to share it with, who would that be?
Wow. The funny thing is like it's obviously the family, right? That come out there, but one of the first family members is my cousin Keith.
Tell me about your cousin
Because
Keith.
Keith works for me, whatever. But we were like kids, like this was our thing, like sweet potato pie. Like he's really going to appreciate everybody, but like, yeah, I would share it with them. Obviously, my kids, my wife, friends and family members, etc. But someone's really going to enjoy it and really get it is somebody that like grew up on this as well and shared it with me and spent a lot of time as kids together. And so, I think like we'd have that knowing look, right? I think the rest of it would be like, oh, this is great. We're gonna have our last meal. This is this event, right? It would be more about what's happening right now, like us saying our final goodbyes and reminiscing. But Keith and I sharing this, it's a movie that's too long for us to talk about, right? All of it comes with it. Years and years of memories without even saying a word come with it.
What do you think you guys would say if you were sharing the sweet potato pie for the final meal?
Well, the first thing we'd probably do is compare it to my mom's. Like, this isn't my mom's, you know what I mean? We talk it down a little bit, but it is good, and, we'd probably talk about when we took Kung Fu together lessons, and we used to walk back and forth between his house, which was on Warner Avenue in Jersey City, and mine was on Arlington Avenue, and then eventually Emory, which was like a couple miles. We used to walk back and forth all the time, want to spend a night, hang out, just growing up, and then slowly going our different ways, and then reconnecting here in Houston and people we, knew and loved. I mean, it's just too much to list, right? I mean, who knows where the conversation would go,
What would
be a great ride. Like, it would be like, wow, it's been a great ride. Like, look at where we were and look at where we are. And not saying that there's a giant upward trajectory, just like, look at the transformation. Are we really even the same humans? Yeah, there's certain things that we can remember,
You don't feel like the same humans, do you? In a way, you probably would, but, and I guess that's what food allows you to do, right? Is like, you're so far removed from who that kid was.
Yes.
But the sweet potato pie allows you to be him again.
Back. Like certain parts will come out, and certain parts that you love,
Where would you have as the setting for the last meal?
I don't know. I think anywhere, but I like to be outdoors.
Yeah. I like eating outdoors as well.
Outdoors.
Yeah.
There's something about, what I've noticed recently that I'm not outdoors enough. Or is not as much as I would like to. I don't know what enough is.
That surprises me about you.
Yeah, I mean, I travel a lot, but there's times where like there's too many conveniences that will take you away from being outdoors unless you are in an outdoors place. That's why I love Austin.
Yeah, there's a lot of outdoor space in Austin.
Outdoor spaces, the water, etc.
But also, it's really hot here. Like, it's the summer, it's like 100 degrees every day.
Then you want to go into this, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So you have to travel to some places where you would be outdoors. There's people, I think, that are in climates where outdoors is. I think that's why people pay so much to live in California.
Yes, I think it is too.
It's not
because why else?
I think it's not just the climate is like, it just beckons you to be outdoors more often, and people are like, well, I will pay, X more dollars to be in this environment.
To have a few more usable months where I can be outside. Like doing things like that. Okay, so outdoor setting, your cousin. What about
cousin, family, the whole family? I just said, that would be like so.
That's a great conversation. Yeah,
who gets it? You know what I mean?
But what about a conversation with your family? Are there any sort of things that you would like to say to your family before the world ends if you had that one opportunity? Because people don't get that opportunity a lot.
Yeah, I think I've been pretty good, particularly recently, about letting know how much I appreciate and love my family members. There's the world will end randomly for me on a date. I don't know. Could be today. Right. And so.
Oh, yeah, by the way, that's how this show works.
There's a guy outside.
Yeah, there's a guy outside ready to pop you.
He's got me, But I think the conversation would just be like, how we enjoyed the ride. there's no sense crying over the future. We know it's going to end, right? Like we got the plot. It's going to end. It's like, what was it great about being human? What was great about you being my daughter? Let me tell you about how much I enjoyed watching you grow. What did you enjoy? What are the things most that we enjoyed out of this time we've had?
And what would you say about what was great about being human in your life?
I think it's just kind of amazing for me to watch, like, just me or like other people?
I mean, you can't answer for them, but if you were to tell them what was an amazing experience about being human up until this point.
Just the amount of transformation that you can do. It's just wonderful, both mentally and physically. We're in these like adaptive biosuits that, like, if you run, it'll give you ability to run more. If you work out, you work more. If you don't want to work out, it'll shrink down. Your brain, it's like, you want to get smart and learn about this thing, neurons will grow. You want to learn how to play piano? They're like, there's no neurons to play piano. You can't move your finger. All of a sudden, this neuron connects and now you can play your hands separately. And it's like, that's a wonderful thing that allows us to, like, create spaces and art and community and connect with each other in just fascinating ways. Like, it's just a fascinating thing. And so when we're at our best, we're doing those things, we're connecting with each other and we're showing each other love. And I think that's just amazing about being a human. I mean,
absolutely.
In this ride, and the fact that we enjoy it. Like, it's like very enjoyable. It's part of our wiring,
You do seem like you enjoy life a lot.
I mean, I try to. There's times where I'm like, oh, this is the suck. This sucks. When am I going to get out of this period of suckiness? And that could be sometimes just waking up. Like, fuck, I got to get up. It sucks. Like, why can't I just stay? I got to go do this thing. Got this meeting and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And all these obligations that, keeping your word is important. But it's a great ride. Like, you got to enjoy the ride. And there's books out there to help people, like, get that mindset to enjoy the ride.
Speaking of ride, something you mentioned to me when we first started talking that I wanted to pick up on, but I didn't want to sort of derail something you were saying. You mentioned it's different when you're, like, getting your first car or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first car?
Yeah, my mother gave it to me.
What was it?
It was a Toyota Celica. It was a yellow Toyota Celica. It was her car. And everybody's like, don't give it to him. You spoil him, whatever. And she worked hard. And it was like a, 5-year-old.
Don't spoil Bill Perkins.
Yes. But I drove that thing to death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you probably thought it was the shit, right?
Oh, I thought it was a bomb. Well, you get your license. You're 17.
Were you like one of the only kids to have a car?
No. I mean, there was kids around, but like I got one late. But I drove it off to college. Drove it from Jersey City to Iowa City. Took it back and forth.
Yeah, really.
Used to drive back and forth. So
yeah.
It was just that degree of freedom. Of having a car is amazing. Teenagers with a car, it's like, it's dangerous,
Definitely. Do you remember, like, a moment in your life, and I'm thinking of things that are like that, getting the Toyota or something like that, or you might have a far more ostentatious example, but where something really turned around for you and you thought, okay, I've kind of made it.
I think I was a trader, and I think the first time where I was like, I made it was I got a raise. So I got hired away from one job. The current owner, Bob Rossi, told the people that were hiring me that I was making $100 a week more than I actually was, and that they needed to pay me $100 a week more to hire me. So I was getting a $200 a week raise. Okay. And they hired me, and I was like, fuck, I made it. I was like, I did a calculation, ran it up. I was like, I'm making like $30,000, 30 or 40 something. I was like, I think I make more than my mom. I think I make more than my mom. I'm a fucking buppy.
Yeah.
A buppy is a black urban professional. Like yuppies and buppies. I'm like, and I had the badge, and I was like, I'm fucking badass. Like I would, you couldn't tell me shit that day. Yeah. You know what I mean? You couldn't tell me a fucking thing. I was like the man, and that was like, I made it. Now, clearly other people looking around was like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Like, he did not make it. But like, in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm young. I have discretionary income because I was a super saver back then. It was in part of the way I was able to be a super saver. I was living at home with my mom, but you know what I mean?
But you're still making more than her.
So like my mom, right? Like, and then I was like, I'm about to get an apartment. I think I can pay this fee to my friend had put up a wall by the kitchen to make a bedroom, and I like rented that spot, and I was like, wow, I can get my own spot. No more cramping my style, with girls, I was just, that was like, I made it, and then I think the next time, I think I made $1 million or something. And
I love how you just throw that on. I think it was
something. It was something. It was like a yes, I am a millionaire before 30, type of thing.
Yeah.
And but I had a bonus, and I gave my mom a bunch of money. One, to pay for the car that I put a dent in when I was driving that I lied about, and to pay her back. And I was like, Mom, you remember that time when I said that I came out and I guess a truck hit it or something like that? Yeah. What really happened? And I told her the story.
What did she say?
She's like, she goes, I did think it was odd. That's great. You know what I mean? The way that scrape was, et cetera. But I had a really good cover story. And she was just happy, whatever. But it was kind of anticlimactic. Because I didn't have I wasn't into things, and I didn't really know how to use the tool of money at that time to the things that I wanted. It was just like, I got this pile of money and I'm badass. Like, it was like more an ego thing than an enabler thing of my dreams at the time. I'm not saying it wasn't enabling certain things and a certain lifestyle was changing, right? Like, I don't care what the barbell is anymore. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
Was it a different feeling to the $200 a week increase?
No, yes, it was a lot less.
It was less than the feeling of
the emotional joy when I finally cracked through, and I was like, I make more than my parents.
Yeah,
my mom.
But also, I think there was. I mean, the first thing you said about that was like you linked it to something like the freedom of being able to get your own place and move out and stuff like that.
Yes.
So it's already linked to a different lifestyle.
These things. And I didn't know. I was so inculcated in the hive mind and the culture around me, and that was just the things that I saw and watched. I didn't really know what I wanted. I thought I knew what I wanted. I didn't really know how to use this tool of wealth to drive my fulfillment properly in my 20s, because I was on autopilot, right? And so I'm not saying that I didn't have fun and do a bunch of things, but it wasn't as great as I can be independent. I can make money. I can take a girl out on a date. I can do these things. Like, that was ecstatic.
Yeah. What about were there any habits that you used to have as a young person that you kind of regret?
Yeah, I was extremely lazy and a slacker.
Really?
Extremely. And really? and I held a grudge. I hold a grudge.
A grudge against what or whom?
Just my father, anybody, I will remember long time,
You still hold grudges?
No.
Right.
Not as much. It's just not worth, I've learned and done things and done classes, et cetera. Just like, this is a waste of neurons. You know what I mean? Like, for me, and I'm the actual one suffering, right? And I don't know if the complete laziness is gone, but I'm generally, I was a super slacker and didn't do my best back then.
So what made you change?
Being poor, not having the pursuit of women. Literally, I was like, this sucks. Nobody's coming to save me. I need to turn it on. You know what I mean? It's this is not where I want to be. I have to crack it and focus and do something. And so my delusional belief that I can make it, plus the actual effort and hustling and working, put me in the arena to maybe make it. And I did.
It's interesting how many people I speak to that the shift in their life happens when they are at rock bottom.
Necessity.
Yeah.
Necessity.
And doesn't it make you think to yourself that, when you speak to somebody who is at rock bottom, you kind of want to say to them, don't worry, you're almost there. You almost got it.
It is.
Just feel shit a bit more.
The thing I've learned before is that bottom or whatever it was, local minima in my life, right? Of like, shit, I'm not going to get anything that I want. It was in my face, right? And so then, snapped it up, worked, coupled with the delusional belief. But a lot of things that like are not in your face happen over time, like getting out of shape or going into a bad relationship, like becoming a bad relationship in that bickering couple or those things, right? Now, when you get older, you realize, okay, a lot of the things or things that I'm doing with, bad behaviors that don't work, you don't get the immediate feedback. You have to like think ahead, And so now, how I avoid being lazy and turning it on is realizing like, oh, I'm down this path of misery, whether it be in your health or your relationship or your career or et cetera. It's like, oh, I'm down this path. So I need to shape up now. Right. Because people, they wake up one day and they're like, how did I get 40 pounds overweight? You know what I mean? Well, it's 2 years, 200 extra calories a day.
Yeah.
You're about 40 pounds overweight. It's not
So
that much.
Project,
it's like a cookie. Yeah. It's like, how did this couple that was like, I love you, I'm so in love, they want to get married in front of all their friends, God and country, et cetera. And then they're like, they're fighting over dishes or a car or something. Like, how did it happen? How did they go from I do to here? And it happens, right? And it's like, it wasn't like the big thing, right? Most of the time, it's like slowly over time, death of 1,000 cuts, right?
Yeah.
Not working on certain things. So,
what's an experience that you had in your life that was worth every cent?
Wow. I mean, I would have to say everything associated with travel with friends.
Cool.
My wedding, my birthday party, like the milestone birthday parties that where I would take a whole bunch of people, we go to an island, we'd all hang out, whatever. It's like, I don't know how many times we talked about it. I mean, you could write a book about how many times we talked about it within a book. And these were massive investments. But there are smaller ones, like a small boat, a wake surfing boat. It is a memory dividend making machine.
Yeah.
It's like, you pile 16 people in, you play the music, everybody's rooting for the other person to get up, you're hanging out, there's good times, there's conversations. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And so all these things where, it's not like this one singular thing. It's like, even this place here, it's like, where I create a platform for us to commune and come together and have a great time, worth every fucking cent. Because that's what I'm here. People that get associated with the worth, like, oh, somebody else will pay $1 for it. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about the money. I care about my fulfillment and what are the things that drive fulfillment. And so, am I allowed to curse? Because I've been cursing a lot.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
All the time. Yeah.
I've been cursing my ass off.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, those things where I'm like, wow, I'm really getting like, we're hanging out and we're having a good time. And then when I'm not using it, I'm like, go use it. And they have a great time. I'm like, I had a blast. I'm like, wow, really massive value, right?
Yeah.
Because the value is in fulfillment. And so those things that I create those spaces, those purchase, those are worth it. They're generally trips or things that enable community.
What is something that you do differently to everyone else?
Sounds sexual.
I told you I'm not going to ask you out on a date.
Exactly. Like, come on now. What do I do to...
What do you do differently? Yeah.
I think one of the things that I tell people, they're like, oh, I look up to you. I'm like, do not fucking look up to me. I am not a role model. But one of the things I think I do is inspire people. And so I think I can inspire people to be their best selves or to live their best lives. And I think I do that differently than other people.
Do you think you set out to do that, or is that just something that you noticed happening while you were just living your life?
We all recommend things to each other. Try this toothpaste. I wouldn't date that guy. Go see this movie. You know what I mean? Try this sweet potato pie.
Those first two could be in the same sentence.
And I think we're trying to help each other, right? Go through life and enjoy the world. And I think one of the things I could do is not be the role model. I went to the Naval Academy and I'm this guy and whatever. I'm a classic make mistake, fuck up type of guy. Many different ways, but I think I can inspire people that you can recover for them and you can have a great life. If you get on the process and you just think about it, you just thinking about what your life is about, and it's not about maximum money. It's not even about maximum health or maximum time. It's about maximum fulfillment. And just that thought process alone will get you thinking like, okay, well, what do I want? What do I like? What period of my time I like? And they see me doing it and living it. And if you live your life richly, and you chase your own fulfillment, it's inspiring to the people around you. You're having an impact on everybody. It's radioactive. And so I think by me being like deathly afraid of wasting my life, inspires other people.
Yeah. Well, when I would mention to people that I was coming to Austin to interview you, they'd heard about, a lot of people had read your book and they really liked the concept. So I think that's working for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's like I wrote the book to save my own life. Like I didn't want to waste it. This was the last meal, and I was like, oh fuck, woulda, coulda, shoulda. That'd be a bad fucking meal. Yeah. Doesn't matter how much sweet potato pie we got. You know what I mean?
Yeah, burnt butter and sage.
You're like, wait, what is going on here? Like, fuck, I need an extra day. But if you're kind of on model and you're like, shit, I really wanted more life. But I don't have woulda, coulda, shouldas. You know what I mean? Or they're very minimal, right? Like I rode this ride hard, and I would like to ride more, but it's just over.
Yeah. Well, but I think that's what is so great about this concept of last meal is that, for those who don't take the time to reflect on their lives, this is something that forces you to kind of zoom in a bit and take stock of how it's been so far and how it's going to go. I remember you just said before that when you're talking to your younger self, but you also think to speak to your older self.
Yeah.
And I have this technique that I sometimes employ that I like to call the author, which is you imagine yourself as like the 80-year-old autobiographer of your own book, and like what kind of story would you want to write?
Right.
And it helps you like ask questions about what you're doing now and what kind of decisions that you would
Definitely.
make. Yeah.
I have that all the time. And, and also just making space for discovery, right? Because you don't know what you want. You discover what you want, at each period, right? Like you don't come out of the womb, know what you want. You're not a teenager and knowing exactly what you want in your 30s.
That's right.
Like life is discovery and getting out there. And so, and the other thing is like, you're never going to get it right. Like you have to forgive yourself. Like one of the things, like not a forgiving person back in the days, like I learned to forgive myself because there's no effing way you can get it right. But if you are conscious and off autopilot, it's better than the alternative. Right? When you're on autopilot, it's way worse, right? And so it's like people, that, they go to church or whatever, like none of them are like the Buddha or the Jesus, right? Like they just is an ideal that they're trying to get to, but that doesn't stop them from pursuing that ideal. And so it's not hopeless, right? It actually has utility to driving a fulfilling life and those around you.
That's sweet. Are you guided by any religion or spirituality or anything?
Yeah, I'm a spiritual. I'm a Christian. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm a bad Christian. I don't know. Like,
should put that in your Twitter bio.
Yeah, I'm always like I'm gonna say that. Like, no matter what it is, I'm a bad libertarian. I'm a bad Christian. Like, yes. I mean, at the end of the day, I believe that we have choice, and that's a supernatural thing. There's no physics. There's no collection of atoms that all of a sudden give the atoms a choice, right? And so, or quarks or whatever you want to put inside.
So your version of free will is there is a meta thing. There is an extra part of you that you might call a spirit.
It's supernatural.
Yeah.
And so then where's your supernatural? People have this simulation theory. It's kind of like religion without morality. You know what I mean? There's no morality in that. But, so I think at the core root level, I'm like, I believe in free will, and therefore I believe in the supernatural.
Right. What is a belief that you hold that most people don't agree with?
Wow, there's a zillion and five of those. You know what I mean? Like, a belief. I think that. Okay, here's one that most people don't believe. If you are getting results that don't align with your intentions, don't question the results, question your intentions.
Unpack it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll give a simple example. It's like,
that was great for Instagram, but we need a fucking explanation.
Yeah. Unpack that one. Here we go. So what the fuck does that mean? So a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight with her. I don't want to fight with her. And or the person or him. And then why aren't you stop fighting? Like really, it's not that you don't want to fight. You want to be right more than you don't want to fight. And you continue to fight. right? And so what is the real intention here? What is your real priority here, right? And so like, yeah, I want to work out, I want to whatever, or like there's these hidden intentions and hidden motives that kind of get in our way of what we think the stated goal is. And until you discover those, right, you'll always have a victim story of why you didn't accomplish this or why this is going on, etc.
Yeah, and it's almost
I believe that results equals intentions.
Results equals intentions.
Yes.
That's taking it a step further.
Yes.
Okay. I'll think about that. But yeah, it's interesting because I think a lot of the time we act in ways that we think of for a particular reason, but they're, as you said, a hidden reason. It's just like our behaviors and motives are governed by something that is truly that we're not in control of a lot of the time.
Yeah, there's you have some
Where
motives.
does your free will fit into that?
I mean, I'm like, you got to take the time to like get off autopilot and think about like, what do I really want? Am I trying to really look famous, or do I really want to do this? Do I really want to do good, or do I want to look good? Do I really, do I really want to have a peaceful relationship, or do I want to be really seen as right or whatever? Like there's a lot of things going on. We have ABC, things going on, and like what is the real goal here? What are the things that are getting away of what I think the goal is, right? And so I think people, there's a very, very small group of people that believe that results equals intentions.
I think I might be one of them. That was prima facie. I haven't thought about it too much, but that was very convincing.
They'll come up with all kinds of excuses or whatever, stuff like that. And so, sometimes it's like, oh, when people come to realize you're right, this is actually my primary goal and not this other thing. Like, no, I really want to get my point across. I gotta, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, okay, you want to fight until you get your point across.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just one example, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I'm going to think about that.
Yeah. It's like, I want to go to the gym and I want to get in shape. I'm like, do you really?
Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, exactly. Do you really want the sad story about whatever?
Is there anything on this sort of topic? Is there anything you've changed your mind about recently?
I've changed my mind. Not recently. A lot of things over the years. I think like most anybody, but I don't think there's anything like earth-shattering right now.
Did you ever find yourself kind of like a belief, like a fabric of beliefs over time that tend to be malleable, and you change little beliefs, and then 10 years down the track, you sort of have a different worldview or something?
Yeah, I had a different worldview. Like I grew up in the 80s, 70s, I'm a 70s, 80s kid, a lot of things like, and they were simple equivalence things. Like it was like, I came from the period where people were openly mocked to being gay. Right. And like there was this whole fight over gay marriage and this whole thing. And I had like one view of like, this isn't right. And like, what do you mean? And this isn't normal. And over time I was like, may not be normal, but it's natural for them. So normal is a statistical sense, right? Right. Like, but it's natural for them. And, people's like, love is love. And like, who are you to tell somebody what it is? I'm like, yeah, why the fuck am I in their business? You know what I mean? Like, it's like they have this, and that transfers over into a lot of things, right? And so,
as you were saying, like during that time, like 70s and 80s, it's a different cultural landscape, and you're very much influenced by that, by other people.
The hive mind, right? Right. And so, and then, it changed where like more of like I think like a libertarian view is like, you would lose your career if you were like outed as gay or something like that, or shunned or something like that. And it's a totally different world.
But
now.
Ironically, you should be free to do that if you're a libertarian, right?
Yeah, exactly. But like, I mean, saying back in the day, in the 80s, now it's like, this people today their minds would explode that this world exists, I was like, that's how it was.
Yeah.
Are
you in the libertarian space, by the way? Is that your sort
I'm
of...
a bad libertarian, like,
Yeah, just like you're a bad Christian.
I'm libertarian, like I'm more libertarian than anything.
More libertarian than anything else, right? Yeah. How have you found the latest goings on in America?
It's chaos. It's chaos. Chaos. I'm a policy guy. Like I try and stay out of all the arguments. Like, does this policy work or not work?
Yeah.
Does it meet its stated intentions? I'm very much a purpose of the system is what it does.
Yeah, that's pragmatic. Yeah,
so
whether it comes from the left or right.
No matter what it is like, what is the policy? What is it going to do? Is this valuable? How does this fit? How does it advance freedom and fulfillment for the most people?
Yeah. If you woke up January 1st next year and I said to you, you have to relive 1 year of your life.
Holy shit.
But you don't go back there with the knowledge you have now. You're literally pressing play on the movie of that, but you're experiencing it. What year would it be? How old were you?
Wow. I've had some really good years. Wow. I think it's going to be, I'm going to go with recency bias, right? That's the strongest endorphin rush. I think it's going to be is it 2021? 2021. Let me go scream. Engagement year, 2021? 2021.
That's a good PA right there. That's fucking
right off screen.
Yeah.
2021. I think it's 2021.
Okay. Tell me about 2021.
Which is kind of odd because it was such a bad year globally for everybody, but it was just at the like kind of tail end of the pandemic, you know? People realizing it's like, or even then, it was a period where I was like, okay, I made, when the early stats came out or whatever they were putting out, right? True or not. It was like, wow, I have a 1 in 20 chance of dying in the next 3 years. I was calculating, 1 in 20,
Put the calculator away.
Yeah. 1 in 20, 1 in 30. I'm of this age. I'm in this age group. That's the age that seems to be dying a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah. This is the It's like, I'm obviously going to get infected at some point. Like, you can't avoid getting infected. So it's like, oh, all right. It's next 3 years, I'm probably going to get infected, and it's a 1 in 20 chance I'm going to die. And, I'm like, okay, fine, so be it. Like, we went, because everything was shut down, you couldn't travel, like it was a pain in the ass. You couldn't go in the EU, you couldn't anywhere except Croatia. Now, I would never choose to go yachting around Croatia, okay?
People do,
but I didn't know about it. I was aware of it. I was addicted, a creature of habit, like most people.
Sure.
And I was on autopilot on the Med in Italy. And so we're like, okay, this is where we can go, so we will go. It was also the year that I got engaged to my wife, and my family would come out and we'd swap on. And so we went all around Croatia, which was wonderful, a wonderful place. I got engaged. I was with my friends, and I was in the mindset of like, okay, I have too much money saved because statistically, like I was doing all these things, I'm probably going to die early anyway, like shrink my lifespan, and I may die in the next 3 years. I need to spend a lot of money and convert it into experiences.
I'd love to see that spreadsheet.
So that was like, it was in my head, but it was like, I was like, we're going to stay on the yacht. We rented another one. We went to this place. We went that place. We had the most adventurous. I got engaged.
Wow.
It was amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing time. And it was just wonderful and full of hope. But also a little bit of fear, which spurred the money to flow to turn it into experiences. And I just had a great time. There's a lot of recency bias in that because I would, I could do 23 in New York again, just starting to make money where I just like, yes, I got some money. I'm making more money next year. Girls in New York is great. It's nothing like being young and single in New York City, but I'm going to go with 2021.
2021 is a good answer.
2021.
I often ask people this question, which is sort of a two-pronged question. And I'm going to have to adjust it for your level of wealth. But I normally say to people, like if I were to give you $100,000 to spend in 2 weeks, call it $1 million. Okay, right. Bill? I don't know if that's what you probably spend an afternoon.
No.
No, I'm only joking. Let's say I give you $1 million to spend in a 2-week period. You can't buy anything that you keep, like a car or anything like that.
Easy.
It's just on experiences. Tell me what that would be, and then I have a follow-up question.
Yeah, so I'm going to gather some friends together. We're going to go on a trip, and we're going to pick a place. Now, I don't know if it's going to be like the Rovos Blue Train in South Africa or this Machu Picchu train, or we're going to fly here, but it's going to be a trip someplace. Might be Japan again because I love Japan.
Japan's great.
I got my homies. We're traveling and we're doing it in style and we're going around. And so I'll probably be calling you midweek being like, can I have some more money?
Hey, listen, that's how you know it's a hypothetical. You're calling me for money?
Yes.
Okay. Here's the follow-up question. Same question, but the caveat is that you or anyone who goes on the trip will have their memories of it erased at the end of it. how do you spend it then?
Wait, what? No, they don't get to know?
No. You get to experience it while you're on it. You can do the same thing if you want, or you can do different things. You can choose to spend the money differently. But at the end of that 2 weeks, your memory of that 2 weeks will be erased in anyone that you take with you.
Wow, this is like this is the type of thing like, let's go jump off the side of a building or have an orgy or something type of question, right? Like, this is one of these. It's one of these crazy.
Where do you go?
Actually,
with it?
I think at this time, right? I think this is a ripple question for me. So, 21-year-old in me was like, oh, I know what we're gonna do. But like, I think the 50s version of me is like, I think we're gonna go in a place and we're gonna like take the money and we're gonna have a massive impact in some area, whether it be rebuilding some community, helping with FGM in Tanzania, helping with X, Y, and Z. We do all the work. We've set them up for success in the future, whichever that way that is. I don't have the exact one, right? Like, I'm going to get it right. Like, do we go build this well or dock or school or malaria nets or whatever it is? We go, we do the work, we get erased. We have no fucking clue, but the world does.
Mm. And do you think that's a good way to spend, like, what is your idea of like how to spend money on other people? And I don't mean just like charity, but just, because it also pays dividends, I think, when you do things for other people.
Well, I mean, we don't get the memory dividend of like, hey, we did this good deed and wasn't that great? We all came together and we worked together and we solved this problem for these people that's going to last for generations, or this village, or whatever it is, whatever thing we solved. But it's there, it exists, it's real, and it goes out into the world forever, right? And so they get the dividend. They get the memory dividend, right? And so if you're going to erase my memory, right, and that's a different trip, But I mean, we all have our charitable activities that we want to do, and our hedonistic activities we want to do. Like, we go travel, we're hanging out, we're in Japan, we're eating sushi. They're eating sushi. I'm not. I'm a vegetarian. But you know what I mean. And then we also have the things that we do charitable. Since I am not the tip of the spear, I tend to find people who are the tip of the spear and then give them the resources to do it. Right. But if you're saying, hey, me and my friends are going to go in a group and make an impact, I'm going to drag them along and be like, I don't want to go. You're fucking going. I could slap them around. They're not going to know, right? Like, that I forced them. A week later, they're going to forget about this fucking Perkins. I'm in there's mosquitoes and things and whatever. And they're complaining and they finally do it and they come through it and they're like, they're done. I'm like, you did a good deed.
That's true. It's weird thinking about memory like that. Is like, if you don't remember it, did it actually happen? At least in your head.
Yeah, I mean, at least for our head, it didn't. But like, the world knows it. Like, it's there,
definitely.
Like, and that's in every aspect of it, right? Like, your show, it could be forgotten by a lot of people, but there's a ripple. It might even not, like, somebody may have an attitude or a belief system that drives them towards success, that their parents saw on your show, that they repeated to that kid, and it's still there. They have no effing clue you exist. You're lost to history. But
so
it's
there's
there.
memory dividends that are ripple effects as well.
Correct.
What do you call Alzheimer's in the context of memory dividends? Pump and dump?
It's like, Alzheimer's is the worst, right? Like, that is the end. It's like the tail end of the, that's the negative part where they start to disappear.
Would that be your worst fear?
I mean, it's one of the things that I fear is like not being able to interact with the people that I loved in that way. But like I said, when you're with your friends, one of the things like technology does is like, you take pictures and you have that memory, right? But the other part of your memory dividend is the distributed memory system you carry along with you, and those are called your friends and your families, right? And your whoever is with you, right? Not only do they have that like same experience, but they get it from another perspective and they remember different points, right? So you have the distributed memory system. So when you get Alzheimer's, whatever, and they come to visit you, whatever, they're there because they know you and they know who you are and they remember who you are, even if you don't remember who you are. And they're actually remembering all the things that you did, and they're paying homage to you and taking care of you because of who you were and the impact you had on their life and their relationship to them. And they will still get to experience and talk about those things, So I don't want that to happen, but it likely will, as it does for many people. And so it is what it is.
if you could live forever, would you?
Yes.
You answered that way too quickly.
Very, very. It's a snap, easy question. To the heat death of the universe or the cold death, whichever one.
You do it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's just, I think, I think most humans will be like, wow, the more I learn, the less I know, right? The less I learn that I don't know anything.
Know nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, I know nothing. I think humanity's learning that too.
Mm.
And so I think there's just so much to absorb and so many things to learn, and watch to be like kind of like this figure that rides humanity as it evolves. It would be amazing.
Thank you for sitting down with me today. You've been a delightful person to share a meal with.
Thank you. Thanks for the.
Thanks for being on.
Yeah,
and I think we've actually have a bit more. We got a whole pie out there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab this.
There's also Lauren. Did you get a gift for Bill?
For the presentation.
Oh, word. What? Thank you. That was amazing. Look at me. Wow. Look at you saw me get happy.
Yeah.
It's a pot. Yes. Oh, yeah.
And they've got flake salt on them.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, it makes it pop. Yeah. I'm like mad at you and happy at the same time. No. Oh, no. Thank you.
Bill Perkins is a wisdom nugget factory who doesn't just preach his philosophies, but lives them. While the die with zero concept sounds easy coming from someone with Bill's wealth, I'd argue that this can make the practice more challenging in different ways. While I'm not about to go out and blow through my modest savings in one weekend, I'll admit that Bill made me think harder about the balance between optimizing for the present over the future. And I think that's a question worth sitting with, no matter what your bank account looks like. And that's all from me.